Morning, friends. Big day today. Old Dodge here. Got 395,000 and the stock alternator finally gave up the ghost. Or something did. It keeps knocking regulators out and keeps going back and forth between not charging and not charging. So we ordered a new one-wire alternator for the 89 to 02 Cummins from PA Performance. These guys were super easy to work with. Their shipping was awesome. Had it within 2 days of ordering it. Look at that shiny new son of a gun. So this is the 136 amp version. They have a 200 amp version. I can't imagine ever needing 200 amps on this truck. The 136 has a lifetime warranty. The 200 has a 1-year warranty. You know, I've owned this truck for 15 years now, and hopefully I'll own it another 150. So might as well put the best on. Anyway, this was about 360 bucks. Went ahead and ordered the version that has the lead for a tachometer. Figured that might be nice for someday, but it's one wire, doesn't require anything to excite. You just hook the one big wire up and she should make power. I think they said it'll make 80 or 90 amps of power at an idle and about 160 peak, but it's rated at 136. So we've already got the serpentine belt off. Pulled that horn out of the way so I can get to the wires. And now it's time to start taking this old girl apart. All right, we went ahead and decided we were just gonna take this whole rubber intake boot off that goes from the turbo over to the airbox. It's old. Truck's 36 years old. She's on the struggle bus. Rubber's kind of falling apart. Need to check the inside. And it looks good. The inside ain't falling apart. That's the important part. Anyway, time to start taking these wires off. Looks like that little one there is an 8mm. It's the worst part on these Dodges. So these are 7/16, but most of the stuff on the engine's metric and the rest of the truck is standard. It's kind of frustrating, but it's part of it. Also, sorry for my wife's heavy breathing that you can hear. She's currently battling a little bit of a sinus infection going on, and trust me, she doesn't smoke, even though it may sound like she does. But we won't make fun of her too much. She's a pretty good sport.
Mention the battery.
Do what? Why don't you tell them about the battery?
Also, this one did not mention, make sure you unplug your battery so you don't get electrocuted.
So it looks like the big wire here that goes on the back of the alternator, that takes a 10mm. Of course, my fuel filter's in the way. I'm gonna go get a short, well, never mind. If it fits, it ships, just like the post office. It's nice. All right, I gotta go get a smaller socket for these two little wires here. They're part of the factory setup for stupid regulator over there. I got tired of knocking regulators out all the time, so I moved the regulator over there from back there on the firewall, because that's a pain in the butt to change. Made it real easy over there about 6 or 8 years ago. This thing would go through regulator, knock it out about every 3,000, 4,000 miles, until I relocated it over there and found out that it needs to have an extra ground wire to the battery with these external regulators. So if you're planning on replacing your alternator, just because your truck keeps knocking regulators out, they need an extra, these aftermarket ones need an extra ground wire to the battery. So I'm gonna go get a socket and I'm gonna take these two off and get all this stock wiring out of the way. So turns out this is a 7mm. I grabbed every socket from an 8 up to a 12 so that I didn't have to keep running back and forth into the garage. It's a nice sunny, beautiful April morning here in Iowa, so why not do this outside? Pretty much gets that harness out of the way. Let's see if I just happen to have, that's a 12. Nope. It's more like a 10. So that's a 10. It's a 10. We'll just get this whole shitteroo out of our way. All right, ladies, if you happen to be watching, you ever walk into the shop or see your man working and he's got 2 wrenches strung together like this, it's best to just leave him alone, because that means things probably aren't going his way. Sometimes you just need a little extra leverage. So, got that one out right there. Now to get this guy out. It is a 13, and also I'm going to take this off too. That's a 13 as well. Might do that and just get this wire out of my way. There you go. Well, that was easy. Once again, we're using a little extra leverage here. Just don't have the horsepower to get that busted loose. Of course, that keeps slipping and barking my knuckles up, so that feels good too. I do not understand why that's fighting so bad. All right, but that's slipping off, so I just went and grabbed the socket and the breaker bar. And it's coming, it's just not liking it. I guess 12 or 13 years ago when I had this alternator overhauled, I should have greased that up or put some anti-seize on it. Yes, I'm sipping my foo-foo, I don't know, tastes like a milkshake that's got coffee in it. My wife's awesome. Anyway, shameless plug. As your local independent AMSOIL dealer, I highly recommend AMSOIL metal protector. Stuff's like the leading competitors of spray lubricants, only it's better and it lasts. We're gonna squirt that bolt in there, and hopefully, as that starts to draw that stuff back through the threads, get a little easier. So I think what I've determined is, this was supposed to have a nut on the other end of it, and it has not, but thanks to time and the elements, it's kind of got partial to being down there in that bracket. Yeah, that, I should have had a nut on the backside. Something tells me that high school me, when I had this alternator overhauled, must have forgot to put that nut back on there, or it's vibrated off at some point since, but luckily it stayed right where she was happy. Time to go to Baumgart's and find a nut for this little metric bolt. So, after a quick trip to Baumgart's, determined this is an M14 by 1.5 bolt. So got me one of them fancy little nuts. We're gonna be good to go. So, because we believe in lubrication and not so much in crust and stuff. I'm gonna put a little grease on this bolt. This is some AMSOIL off-road full synthetic grease. It's good stuff. If you're interested or you want some, let me know. Hook you up. All right. New shiny part. I hope this came with a sticker. That adds like 10 horsepower. Just the sticker alone. If not, PA Performance needs to step up their game. Now to see if I can get back in there to get that nut on that bolt.
Do I need to do it?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start that top one back in after we lubricate it a little bit. If you're interested in any of these AMSOIL products, the metal protector or the grease or motor oil or anything, it is, I believe, the best stuff that you can buy. If there was something better, that's what I'd sell, and that's what I'd use. I think that quality motor oil, quality lubricants is about the best thing, the best money you can possibly spend for the longevity of your vehicle. So I will include a link in the description if you want to go check it out or order some. All right. Little shameless plug there. Front row, George. Why don't you shut the door on me? Guess I should have checked and seen what size wrench that takes. Maybe it's a 13. I'll bet since it's metric though, it's different. Yep. 15. Oh, I just happen to have a 15 right here because that's what I was using on that 13mm wrench for leverage. Oh, this alternator looks nice. Good looking son of a gun. Don't take long though till it's dirty like everything else under here. Got that bottom bolt put in. It's gonna be nice having that nut on it. This guy snug down. That's good now. Stop it. Hoping everybody here knows how to do a serpentine belt, so I'm gonna have my wife put the phone down so she can give me a hand running this here unit so we can get the serpentine belt put back on. Oh, look at that idea. Here, come over here. I've got it adjusted. I don't need you to pull on it too hard because it's hitting them air conditioner line. There we go. All right, let her up. Make sure, looks like we're on the pulleys down there, and there, and there, and there, and there. Cool. Thumbs up. So, I just hooked the power wire up back there, or the way it was. The factory alternator has these bosses that hold this and all that extra wiring mumbo jumbo that we don't need. So, ultimately, I'm going to cut that off and either crimp or solder a big eyelet on it to hook right there, and then we'll terminate the rest of these wires. But for here and now, we're just going to do this, make sure that it all works like we think it's going to. I don't know if this is going to work. It may melt my rubber, I don't know. But these were a pain in the butt to get off, so I'm just going to spray a little of this down here where that rides, and maybe that'll keep her lubricated up and go on and off a little easier next time. Oh yeah, everybody likes lubrication. Oh yeah. Well, kind of the moment of truth. Hook our battery back up and fire it up, see if it's charging. Should have a 3 in front of it, 394, 823, and we just put the new alternator on. And because it's a Dodge, that doesn't work. So we just run this little guy. Huh. Well, there we go. We're charging now. Well, that got her going. Guess it just needed a little bit to get its poop in a group. We're good to go now. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Hope that helps. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. Maybe I'll remember to get to them. Just kidding. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope this helps. I'll post another video later and we'll see if this alternator really is all it's stacked up to be. Anyway, like I said, if you want any of them AMSOIL products, put a link in the description. Anyway, thanks. Bye-bye.